and file a claim, and the necessary things will be done, and they will be paid. And what that does is, within a short while, they are back in business. But the reverse is the case. If you don't have insurance in place, a lot of things will happen. One, capital is eroded, cash flow issues, and that's when you see the business owner, they start seeking for help from family, friends, or maybe they will even go to the bank. It takes them, some don't even get back to business after a long while. And even when they come back, you find them going to another business again. They might not be able to do that same business again. And what business insurance does to you is, you would have done, put things in place that protects you from financial losses and even reputational damage. Having business insurance in place will improve your customer satisfaction, because no potential or even new client wants to do business with anyone that with any business that is not stable, because when you have not put the right things in place, there will be no stability. And that's why you see that in the first 3 years of a business, about 32% of SMEs, they close down. The attrition is high at that period. And when you have insurance in place, you find out that when that structure is there, that business grows. I've worked with SMEs that they have the right structure in place. They move from small to medium and even to large corporate today.
Talking about structure, we're talking about small businesses here, and but then how does it work for insurance? Because it's one thing to walk into a bank to apply for a loan. It's one thing to approach an LSCTF to apply for a loan or grant. For insurance, how does it work? I mean, I cannot reap where I haven't sown.
Okay, so for insurance, what has to be done? The necessary steps a business owner has to take is, when you indicate interest, you come to us, and you make a request and you indicate interest, saying, oh, you would like to get your business protected. Okay. We take you through. Okay. We understand your business. Okay. Because that's the first thing we even do. We just don't tell you buy this insurance. No. We understand the kind of business you do. And from there, we are able to provide the right solution. And another thing we have also done is we have also gone ahead. We've done, we've carried out surveys at one point in time or the other to understand inherent risk in a basic small business, and which is why we have developed flexible and affordable products that will protect any SME business from the impact that will come from any incident, whether fire, burglary, or even death to the business owner.
Let's look at some of the requirements and the process it takes for a potential, SME now to tap into this opportunity from AXA Mansard Insurance PLC.
All right, thank you. When a SME business owner reaches out to us and they indicate interest, the first thing for us to do is to send them a quotation and invoice, and also a proposal form. The SME business owner in turn sends us a completed proposal form and evidence of payment and KYC documents. What do I mean by KYC? Know your customer. KYC documents needed are current status reports and certificate of incorporation. The business must be registered.
Sure.
So after then, with this document, we onboard the SMEs. And from there, we go ahead to process the insurance policies that they have bought. And after then, the final thing we do is to send them a welcome email. And what accompanies that is a policy document and other details like the contact details of the account officer and the process of notifying a claim. In the event claim happens in future.
So for many small business owners, insurance can feel overwhelming or even unnecessary. Why is it important?
Okay. SMEs need to understand that risk management is key for every business to carry out.
I don't have a fire close to my shop. And I don't even own a shop. Maybe it's just a small, something that I manage that can actually, put up with me in my small room and all of that. Why do I need insurance?
Yes. So for any SME business owner, in understanding why risk management is important for you to do is you need to identify, assess, and look at the threats and uncertainties that might arise in future that will impact the continuation of your business. And the process is very simple. You identify, assess, and mitigate those risks. In risk management, we have various methods of mitigating risk, and one of the methods is transfer of risk. In transferring risk, you can purchase an insurance policy.
Okay.
And what that means is you purchase an insurance policy, you pay a premium, and the insurance company carry the risk. And I will also give you examples. You mentioned earlier, I have a small shop. Why do I need to have insurance? I'll give you 2 real-life examples that happened in 2020, NSAS. One, we have a client that we insured. They are into food services. We insured their stores, and during the NSAS, they had few of their outlets that were vandalized. Stock items were carted away. They notified us, and we did all that we need to do, and we paid their claim. They were able to go back to business within a short while. Another example I also give to you is a client that is in the beauty industry. They were also affected as well in Lagos. Then I will also remind you of what happened in 2019 when there was retaliation of the xenophobic attack. I had a client that, their store was vandalized as well. And stories many more. You find clients that all of a sudden, that was just an unprecedented issue. Because I interviewed several old people. Has this issue happened in Nigeria before? They said no, because it was an unprecedented event. Nobody prayed for that. But people that prepared, that don't find and protected their business, today they are still in business.
All right, then. Let's look at the premium you talked about. What is this about? Is it a one-off thing or it's a continuous thing?
Okay, thank you. So the premium to be paid is just...
Remember, we're not speaking to the elite now. We're talking about SMEs, the people who are, almost new in the business, right? So we need to break these terms down.
Okay, thank you. So premium here refers to the payment you are making for the exchange of that service. That's basically what that is. We have developed affordable and flexible products.
When you say affordable, how affordable?
Yes, minimum. We have various options. As option 1, at a minimum of 10,000, and it covers various policies: fire and special peril and burglary for your business content and assets.
Okay.
We also have group personal accident. These are policies in that 10,000. Group personal accident. And what does group personal accident means? In carrying out business owner or the employees in carrying out their duties, they can have an accident. Accident can lead to death,
sure,
can lead to permanent disability, can lead to temporary disability. Sure. They might need to pay for medical expenses, sure, so that covers that. Then you have the public liability. In carrying out, their business can impact a third party that will lead to liabilities. It can lead to loss or damage to assets of the third party. It can even lead to death or injury of a third party. That covers that. Then there's professional indemnity, and that's protect the business from negligence, or errors or omission while carrying out their business duties.
All right then. All right, Lagos, Nigeria. We're talking risk management this morning on Accelerate Lagos from the perspective of AXA Mansard Insurance PLC, and of course, business insurance starters for SMEs. If you own a business in Lagos, this is a conversation you should join this morning. I mean, it's one of those things that would help you to, to hold your hands through the journey. Should you, encounter any form of risk, any form of disaster in your business. A typical example is the fire incident that happened, in part of Lagos Island Market sometimes last year. Imagine if your business was actually insured, you would actually have this to fall back on. Lagos, Nigeria, you can be a part of the conversation this morning on 0915-387-7127, 0915 08053877127. You're wondering who I have been speaking with. I have Fumilayo Kunle Komalafe, Group Head, SME and Wealth with AXA Mansard Insurance PLC. Quickly, let's tell you that the roads are looking very, very smooth at this time. For those of you using Lagos Ibadan Expressway, a very good one. That is from Tollgate, okay, heading in with the island. For those of you, coming from the suburb, Mowe, Bafo, and the likes, you have the Kara activities to contend with. But not to worry, slowly but surely, you will get to your destination. All right, let's keep it that way, even as we move around Lagos. Moving on now. What are some of the potential risks small business owners, are open to? Like some of the risks they would encounter that they might not even see coming in their business.
Okay, some of the risks encountered by SMEs are they can be they're exposed to fire and thefts.
Okay.
Or damage to their assets. There's also the risk of accidents or injuries to the business owner or even employees.
Okay.
There's also medical care issues to the business owner or employees, legal liabilities,
okay, and
then business continuity risks.
Let's talk about options available for SMEs now, and how affordable and flexible these packages are for micro or growing business.
Okay, so with options that we have designed to address the insurance needs of our SMEs. Firstly, just like I mentioned earlier, we have a first business package that you can buy for 10,000 naira. That's the minimum, and you are able to protect your business against fire, special peril.
Let's get this clearly now. You buy it for 10,000 naira. What happens monthly? Are you supposed to pay monthly or quarterly or daily? How does it work?
So the 10,000 is annually. Is an annual payment.
Good.
Yes, and it covers fire and special peril and burglary, and also it covers public liability. It covers professional indemnity and group personal accidents.
Amazing.
Then we also have another option that you can have for 30,000, depending on what you can afford. And we have another option that you can get for 45,000. So depending on, we understand there are various levels of SMEs.
SMEs. Yes. I was going to ask that when you say 10,000 naira annually, does it cover a sole proprietorship kind of business, or a business that has got like 2-3 people or 5 to 10 people? How does it work? Okay, thank you. So for the one for 10,000, so it's based on limit. The limit it covers up to 3 million limits. So it means you have assets or inventory up to that amount. Okay. Yes, you are able to secure your business, up to that limit, because there are different sections, and each of them come, but the total for the 10,000 naira. And what that means is just like the question you just asked, for a small business that is coming up that is within that limit, what they have is within the limit of a 3 million. So they can do the one for 10,000. And what that also says to us is, no matter how small the business is, they can take an insurance policy. And the one for 10,000, the limit is graduated limits. Is as a higher limit. Why the one for 45,000 has a higher limit as well. And depending, you look at your assets, under each of the section, because each of them comes with their limit. And you check, based on my business content, based on my assets, will this be okay for me? And for businesses that are even above all these limits, we generate quotes for them, because we also have larger businesses, the medium enterprises. Okay. Those ones are even, more, a little bit bigger than the small ones. We give them, quotation, customized quotation. Does getting an insurance require documentation? If yes, what are the documents required?
Okay, thank you. One of the first document needed, which I mentioned when we were talking about the steps required, to purchase an insurance, is the KYC document, which is very key. Know your customer. You need to be a registered business, and what we need from you is your current status reports and your certificate of incorporation. Mm-hmm. That's even the main document that is needed for us to onboard you. Then some of the forms you need to fill, we'll be the one to share that with you. But the main document needed from any SME business is what I've mentioned, the registration document from CAC.
All right, then. Let's talk about a real-life example of how business insurance helped a small business recover from a major loss or avoid a major loss.
Okay. So when you have business insurance in place, whatever incident that has been covered or the coverage of your insurance, for example, you have a fire insurance in place, and just like I gave you a real life example earlier, some of my customers that were affected, during the NSAS protest, that their stores were vandalized, they had stock items stolen. They had insurance policy that covered that incident. So the most important thing is having the coverage that you need. Fire, burglary, you have those policies in place. So whenever incident that addresses that happens, you are covered. You have a fire insurance in place. If there's a fire, the thing you just have to do is to notify us, and we'll let you know the documents you need to provide, and we'll process your claim.
Okay. I have a question here from Debo. Debo says, Debo says, if I apply for your... Okay, I'm trying to digest this question well. If I apply for your insurance policy today and fire engulfs my business tomorrow, what happens? Is it possible? Let me just, because how this text can be sometimes. So if I got Debo clearly now, if he applies for your insurance policy today and then there is a fire risk tomorrow, is it possible that he gets covered?
Okay, thank you, Taiwo.
Considering the fact that he's new in the policy.
Oh, okay. So I would take the question that he's saying apply. It means his business, the start date is today. So the start date is today, 4th, and tomorrow there's a fire incident. He has a fire insurance in place. Yes.
Okay.
His claim will be paid. Even if the incidents happen that same day. Wow. But what the most important thing is to be sure you have an insurance policy.
Insurance policy.
Yes.
Amazing.
And you are covered for that period.
Amazing. So, but then sometimes we often hear people say, oh, when you apply for all of these, when you try to apply for claims, there is always this back and forth. It takes time. How true is this?
Okay.
And how long does it take to process the claims?
All right, thank you. So another thing for everyone, SME business to understand is understanding. I mentioned earlier, I've been talking about risk. Understanding what the risk in your business are, and getting the right insurance to protect those risks. I've identified, you need to protect your business against fire. You need to protect your business against burglary. There are different types of businesses, different policies tailored towards their needs.
How about you tell us about these different categories?
Okay. So, for example, you are in the manufacturing space. The type of insurance needed, you need fire and burglary insurance.
Okay.
You need to have, you need to do a planter risk for your machines. And you also need to do group life insurance for your employees.
So you don't have a particular insurance that covers all of these. I have to do different insurance?
No. So because the risks are different. Yes, that is the reason. You also need health insurance for your employees and even yourself as well.
Okay.
Yes, and some other businesses also, depending on the nature of their business, you need there's a type of insurance needed depending on the type of business you are doing. And when you have those insurance policies in place, when any incident arise, you just file your claim, and then that is. But then to also address your question on, people believe, insurance companies don't pay claim, that is not true, because that's just a myth. And in buying an insurance policy in place, you also need to understand that these are the coverage. Is this covered? Is this not covered? Because if this is not covered, your claim will not be paid. But if it is covered, for example, you have a fire policy and you have a fire that's engulfed your wells, you will be paid. It's only if it's not covered, because we have things covered and things that are not covered. And the second question you also asked is, how long does it take to process a claim? So there are different timelines, turnaround times that we have for depending on the type of claim. So for a motor insurance, for example, it takes us about 48 to 72 hours, depending on the amount of the claim.
Okay.
Yeah, some claims are processed within few hours or same day. And also, like a fire insurance, for example, it can take you. The owner might take some time before they submit the document. So after the document is submitted, we go ahead and appoint a loss assessor, and they will need to do some investigation. So fire claim might take some time. It might take you like about 1 month, or 2 months, depending on the kind of. But if you submit your documents immediately, processing starts.
Okay, let's talk about the maximum one can get, for claims, considering different types of, considering different categories now. For theft, what's the maximum you can get?
Okay, thank you. So, like for the minimum insurance policy I mentioned, the 10,000 naira policy. So we have a total limit of 3 million.
3 million.
Under the section of the fire and special peril and burglary, we have a maximum limit of 1 million. So what you can get, the maximum you can get on that section is a maximum of 1 million.
1 million.
Yes.
All right, then, Lagos, we still have about 8 more minutes on the show. You can still be part of a conversation. Thank you so much, Six, just for this message. 0915-387-7127 is the number to call. If you're not able to call, you can send a text or WhatsApp platform on 0809-9120-777. Let's look at in a case whereby I have been running my business for, say, 5 to 10 years, and I haven't experienced any form of risk, whether fire or theft or anything. What happens to my insurance?
Okay, insurance is protection. Is you are protecting your business against uncertainties, threats, which no one knows about.
I run my business for 10 or 15 or 20 years, and I no longer want to run the business. Maybe I want to jackpot or something. What happens?
Insurance premiums are paid annually.
Okay.
Yes. So, and you renew them. So if you have done it from January to December 2025, it expires. So you need to renew. So just like you mentioned, you don't need it again. So if the policy has not expired, you can send us an email to say you want to stop the insurance, and you have a return premium.
All right.
Yes. If it has not expired, yes, you want to stop the policy. Yes, you can stop your policy, and you have a return premium for the remaining days.
Okay.
So, for example, you have insured the policy. You have done an insurance policy for January to December 2025, and you want to stop it on the 1st of June 2025.
Yes.
So we'll calculate, based on what has been consumed.
Yes.
I don't want to speak insurance terms. What has been consumed, and the remaining months will be returned to you.
All right, Lagos, Nigeria. You're still listening to Accelerate Lagos here on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Movement is still quite slow on Lagos Ibadan Expressway, but from what I'm getting here, it's moving steadily or slowly. If you are caught up in that visa movement, please be patient. It's very, very important. And I understand many of the Federal Road Safety Corps are firmly on ground. They're doing what is expected of them. Within Lagos, movement is still very, very okay. Just if you're wondering, and let's keep it that way. I have been speaking with Fumilayo Okunle Komolafe, and today we're discussing business insurance starters for SMEs. So for this package now, is it just for SMEs? Is it just for starters, or you have it for already existing business or businesses, as it were?
Oh yes, we do. The insurance policies are for starters, established businesses, and even businesses that have even outgrown SMEs, individuals and institutions.
Okay, so for someone listening to us right now, probably with a phone trying to search one or two things about AXA Mansard, can you tell us some of the things they should look out for, your policy, your packages that is open to starters, that they should just stick to? I understand that you cater to already established companies, blue chip companies also. But for starters, for SMEs, what should they look out for on, say, your website?
Oh, okay, so any SME business owner, if they go to our website, they can just go in there, and we have a section for SMEs. They can just click on SMEs, or they can also send us an email. To smebip@axamansard.com. SMEBIP, all in small caps, at axamansard.com, and we will be available to answer the questions and attend to them.
Okay, so another question I have here is that should I encounter any form of risk in a year? Am I only Am I allowed to call in just once to report a risk, or I can call as many times as possible? Is a limited slot for the number of risk I can cover in a year?
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, so the way it works for the policy that's been designed for the SMEs, I mentioned earlier, and I will still use the example of the 10,000 naira policy. There's a limit of 1 million.
Okay.
So the limit for that year is 1 million.
1 million.
Yes.
Okay, so it doesn't matter how many times you come, but as long as you do not exceed that 1 million. So once you exceed that 1 million, it means that your insurance can no longer cover it for the year.
Yes, please.
All right, then. Thank you so much. I must say a very big thank you to you for coming on the show. But before I let you go, let me have your advice to business owners in Lagos as we wrap it up.
All right, thank you. SMEs need to understand and work towards sorting out risks management. And what that means is every business, it is key for every business to do risk management. And risk management is when you identify, assess, and mitigate threats or uncertainties to financial security or even your operations. And the steps you just have to take is identify, assess these threats, and you go ahead to mitigate those risks. And all you have to do is to go through the various methods of mitigating risk, and one of them is transfer of risk.
Okay.
And in transferring of risk, an example is purchasing an insurance policy. And when you do that, you transfer your risk to the insurance company. And you have peace of mind. You can sleep well at night with your two eyes closed.
And you are with your mind shut down.
Yes.
All right then. So how can our listeners connect with you? They want to contact you, contact AXA Mansard. How can they reach out? Okay.
And they can call our contact center on 0700 AXA Mansard, and that is 070029 26267273. Let me repeat that again: 070029 26267273 is an Avaya line, and they can also send us an email I mentioned that earlier, but let me quote the email again. SME BIP, all in small caps at axamansard.com.
All right, then, this is where we drop the anchor on today's edition of Accelerate Lagos. Today we have discussed, risk management from the perspective of AXA Mansard Insurance PLC. I have been talking to Fumilayo Okunle, Komolafe Group Head, SME and Wealth at AXA Mansard Insurance PLC. Maximum thanks to Oluremi Aluko of the social media unit. Big thanks to Victor Oteri. Our executive producer is Tayo Akonli. My name is Taiwo Baruwa. This program has been brought to you courtesy the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. To enjoy the rest of your day, Lagos.
The bomb, curves, screeches, and tacos.